All right, Coach. Just talk. First off, start off by saying and spelling your first and last name for me, please.
KCCASEY, Kolkman, KOLKMAN.
And then, Coach, just look at me the whole time. Just ignore the camera. Talk about the lessons that you're really preaching to your boys from last year to this year.
I don't know if it's, last year was just another example, a microcosm of life, right? I mean, and I think that's probably the biggest lesson is that you're not going to win everything. I don't care what endeavor you're talking about, Talk to the boys about some of you are going to get fired from a job. Most of you at some point in your life are probably going to get fired or resign from a job that you don't like. Unfortunately, some of you are going to get married and that's not going to work out. Some of you may experience death of various forms at ages. I mean, real life things that matter. So the test of manhood is how you respond to that adversity, right? I mean, it's not being big and tough and not crying, and it's not, kicking everybody's rear end. It's how do you respond to and then overcome adversity. And so last year was just another example of having to do that. And so as far as the lessons of last year to this year, it's really more so just the lessons of life in general and how to prepare them for that down the road.
To kind of go off of that, what does it mean to you when you have a player who say, Coach, thank you for the life lesson that you give me. Thank you for the many things that you taught me. What does that mean to you as a coach?
That's all there is, right? I mean, everybody's happy when you win a game on Friday night. At least the people that don't like you, at least are fake happy to your face, right? And so that's easy. I mean, those nights are easy nights. The hamburger afterwards tastes a little better, and you get more kisses on the cheeks, and the grandmas are happy, and those are good. And then you lose games, and then the people don't like you, and sometimes your wife won't even talk to you, depending on how bad you lost. So when the moms and the dads shake the coaches' hands, myself and the assistants, and thank us for the work we're doing with the young men, and when you see somebody at the grocery store 5-10 years down the road, or you get that text on Father's Day out of the blue, and really that's what it's all about. I mean, because most of the coaches I think that are here today, if they really wanted the other experience, they would go coach at college and do that. So most of us are in high school for the fact of, for the most part, our jobs aren't on the line if we don't have a good year. We can survive a bad year and coach again. And as long as our program's instilling the correct things, preparing them for manhood, how to be a good husband, how to be a good employee, and those things, then you win. And you focus on those, you get them prepared for that, the young man is prepared, then the Friday night wins come down. I mean, that's just a collateral, residual effect of everything else you're trying to do. So you ask that question, that's all that matters.
Kind of specifically going onto the field, what do you guys have to improve on? What are you really proud of that you did last year, specifically on the field in your aspect?
Improvement-wise, just their commitment to what we're establishing. The coolest thing this year has been, we met, one of the things in off-season we wanted to do was identify and vote for our captains earlier in the summer. Last year we couldn't. So we wanted our captains in place in the beginning of June. And so one of the cool things is they have now been equipped to be enforcers of culture, and it's one thing when it's the coaches, which we've met hundreds of times, and they know what's expected, and they know me, and they've been given their orders on how we do things. But then when you also have players now that are in tune with that, and they're doing it from the right perspective of service and love. It's hey, you're doing this for your teammates because you care about them and because you want to help them be better, okay? Not just because this is how we do it. I mean, that's part of it, but it's because it's what's going to help us, all of us, across the board. And so to have them in place doing that now, I mean, that's been the best part of what's been going on.
Talk about the group of seniors that you have going into this year.
Interesting group. And I don't mean that bad. I just mean there's only 13 of them. And I want to say 5 didn't play last year. So there's like 8 kids on the roster that played football last year. 3 of them are captains, and we have 3 junior captains. So it's a small group. And they've been awesome. I mean, they've been at the workouts, and they've done everything we've asked. But the cool thing about the program is we're young. 42, 43 of our 65 are freshmen and sophomores. And a lot of those kids play. A lot of the sophomores are going to play, and maybe even a couple of freshmen. And so our leadership is not just from the top down. It's a little more horizontal as opposed to vertical, which can be good as long as everybody's pulling in the same direction. And so that's been cool as far as from a leadership perspective in kids, because you don't have to be the best player. You don't have to be a senior. You don't have to be those things to be an effective leader. So, but the seniors have done a good job, and so have all the younger kids as well.
Just kind of talk about when you put the pad of paper down and you just think about the 2021 season, what's going to constitute a successful year for you and your staff and your team?
Nobody cares, man. Just work harder. Regardless of, the reward is in the work, right? I mean, and I know people say words like process and you hear all that kind of stuff, but just getting lost in the details of what you're doing, and learning to fall in love with that. And then, the win on Friday night is more of a celebration because it's not that it's unexpected, but it's like, oh yeah, this is even better now because now and then it also, the other part of that though I think that is missed sometimes is it doesn't make losses easier, but your approach to it is different now. Now it's like, okay. And I think you're more equipped and more willing to dive back in right away the next day and be like, okay, here's the report. We did this, and this poorly. This is why we lost. All right, let's fix it. And you go out and you just stay at that mentality, and you just keep trying to improve day after day after day after day, and then eventually, now we all have our dips and we all have our bad days, but then eventually, then you get there, wherever you want there to be. In Indiana, it's state finals, right?
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Coach?
I just appreciate everything. This is a cool event. I'm very thankful it's back. I'm very thankful the people made it happen, and that, I was telling, I think it was Josh, that years past it was when there was big food spread and everything. It was even bigger than this. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that hopefully then down the road that comes back, and I just love seeing all the, the kids coming out, and we're what, 28 days away from game one, and all the different media outlets being here, all the different conferences. So it's just exciting to have everything back to what, quote, normal.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.